So shall we start? So I will briefly introduce today's speaker. So it's our honor to invite Jian Yazhen, Professor Jian Yazhen, to our summer training. And the topic is on Taiwan education system and trends. And Professor Jian is the director of Center for Research on Bilingual Education in National Taipei University of Education. And she's also very experienced about the teaching environment in Taiwan. So let's welcome her.
Yay, thank you. Thank you for the invitation, and thank you all for being here today, joining us today. I've also invited all of my students, 46 of them are here as well. I hope that we have time to interact and, so today my topic is Taiwan education system and trends. And before we begin, I would like to, since I'd like you to be actively involved in my talk and raise questions and comments, I have prepared a Padlet for you. Right now it's all occupied by my students' posts, and they will be commenting or asking questions here. And I would also like Fulbright scholars, all of you to participate in our online Padlet questions and comments or feedback. I will be going over this Padlet board at the end of my talk so that I could address some of your questions and comments. Okay, here is the link. Can someone please post, someone from NTUE, please post the link to the chat room so that our Fulbright scholars, could also actively post their comments on the Padlet board. Okay. Let me see if it's in the chat. Okay, I think it is. Okay. All right. Okay. So, okay, let me begin. In my talk today, I will be going over the, starting from U.S. education, my experience with the U.S. education, and comparing it with the Taiwan education. I'm going to talk about the competency-based national curriculum in Taiwan, the English curriculum in Taiwan, as well as the current trend bilingual education in Taiwan. Okay, so my experience with the U.S. education was from the internship, my students' internship at Seminole County Public Schools in Florida. Back in 2004, I took a group of 12 students, all these 12 students, to the United States in Florida, and they had a 3 months of internship at 3 different local schools there. So we kind of, got to know more about the Common Core curriculum standards and the Florida statewide standards. And my students realized there was only 1 recess at school per day, whereas in Taiwan, we have like 7 recesses in between classes for the students. And in the US, teachers provide differentiated instruction, but we found out that teachers have had no time for a break at school, and they were quite busy. So I welcome you to Taiwan when you're in the schools. We have 7 recesses, so there are breaks in between, but I'm sure you'll be busy as well. Okay. Also, US education in the eyes of Taiwanese mother kindergarten. So at the time, my son was like 5 years old, and so he attended the kindergarten in Andover Elementary School. I was quite shocked because in Taiwan, kindergarten is not compulsory, and as kids are not required to read and write. And so when I got there, at the end of the first week, Mrs. Gauthier, my son Maddie's teacher, sent me home with a pack of 100 sight words, and my son was asked to memorize the sight words, and they were reading, and so I was quite shocked. But what also surprised me, and what my son loved about schools in the United States, is the environment. It's so energetic, and for example, Dr. Seuss, they had a Dr. Seuss week. We had, each day there was a crazy hair day, silly socks day, and they also, at school, they implemented like 20 minutes of reading every day, and asked parents to read to the kids 20 minutes every day. So they're actually in the United States, at schools, they're actually fostering a love of reading in children, and that's highly promoted in the States. And we're also doing that in Taiwan as well, in Mandarin, but not in English so far. But we hope that with the implementation of bilingual education, we could also foster students' love for reading in English as well in Taiwan. Okay. Okay, so another, so I also, back in 2017, I was a visiting scholar at University of Central Florida, in Orlando, Florida. And I was there for 1 year, so was my son, and he went into 4th grade. And what I learned was that the schools strongly implemented project-based learning, and this was the scientific science project that he did on his own, and I was pretty proud of it. And the Living Museum project was really something. He impersonated Walt Disney in front of the third graders, and the third graders all love his Walt Disney impersonation. And so I was also surprised that the scientific method was introduced in 4th grade, and in Taiwan, it was not introduced until 7th grade as a lesson. But the scientific method was incorporated into the curriculum, not clearly stated, or not having like going over clear definitions of what is a hypothesis, what is a variable, and all that. But in the United States, in 4th grade, the first unit was the scientific method, and this was a month-long project where he carried out, and through this project, he understood how to conduct a scientific experiment. So this was lemon battery. Also, accelerated reader was something that Maddie, did at school. After reading, he had to go on to a accelerated reader system and document and answer questions based on the books he read. And at the time, in 4th grade, he was reading not Harry Potter, but Percy Jackson series. And so his English reading improved quite a lot in the States. And also his classmates graduate in 5th grade. And whereas in Taiwan, elementary school goes from 1st grade to 6th grade. So kids in Taiwan graduate from elementary school at 6th grade. Okay, so this is something that is different. Okay, so take a look at the trends in mathematics and science studies in 2019. This was the Science for 4th grade International Science Achievement. So a lot of countries participated in the TIMSS assessment. And as you can see, Chinese Taipei is Taiwan, and Taipei ranked the 5th amongst the countries in 4th grade science. And for 8th grade, Chinese Taipei, which is Taiwan, ranked the second amongst all of the participating countries. So we did quite well in science, and it's the same for math. For math in fourth grade, we ranked the 1, 2, 3, fourth, and in mathematics, in eighth grade, we ranked the second as well. So this is sort of the background, like Taiwanese students are strong in mathematics and science. In fact, East Asian countries are among the top achievers in mathematics by a substantial margin. This is what they put in the TIMSS report. But if you look at these, you know, this achievement, you kind of wonder what sort of education, how do teachers train kids in mathematics and science so that they could perform so well. Okay, I'll get to that a little bit in a little bit. Let's take a look at the school hours in Taiwan. Well, Taiwanese students spend around 8 to 9 hours at school. Elementary and middle school students attend school from 7:30 to 4 o'clock, an average of 8.5 hours a day. And an average high school hours in Taiwan is 9.5 hours, starting from 7:30 to 5 p.m., which is even longer than general working hours. And so it's not surprising that Taiwanese students do well in math and science, I think. And let's take a look at the comparing school hours in other countries. In German, Japan, Mexico, and Canada, the average is 6 hours, while the UK, US and UK and Australia is 6.5 hours. Okay, I'd like to know from the audience where you're from, which country are you from? So that I could get a general idea. And which country are you from and the school hours? In the chat, can you post it in the chat so that I get an idea? US 7 hours, US 6 hours, US, oh, mostly, okay, so almost all of you are from the United States, okay. Okay, so it's, thank you. So US, and there's a difference between, oh, US, Texas is 7.5. And in some areas it's 6.5. So in different states, it's different. Very interesting. US 6.5 hours, but then there are some schools in the US that are 8 to 4. Oh, I envy that. Oh, about 8 hours. Wow. So that's a long time. Arizona 7, Chicago from 8 to 3:15. Wow, I like it. I like it if our system goes from 8 to 3:15. All right, Kansas is 7.5. Georgia is 7. Okay. All right. So yeah. Thank you. Massachusetts is 7. Okay. So different states is different. Thank you for sharing your information. Oh, but some Massachusetts area is 7.5. Okay. All right. So thank you for sharing your information. Then I know that in average, kids go to school longer hours than kids in the United States. Okay. And this is not counting after school cram schools. Kids go to cram schools as well. Okay. So in South Korea, China, the average is 8 to 9 hours respectively. So you would know that Asian countries, students perform well in math and science, but their school hours are longer than our like US counterparts, okay? And also, our curriculum is mostly test-driven, pedagogical practice, and in the middle school, this is my son's classmate from a different middle school. He shared that he once had 7 tests a day, right before midterm or right before final. And this was the math test that he shared for that this is final test, and you could see his scribbles, and he's really, doing his arithmetic. He's doing. It's kind of shocking that you had to finish all these questions within a 45-minute time frame. And I thank him for sharing this so that you guys could see. Okay, so it's very test driven. Okay, but you can see that now we're going into students' attitude toward math. They perform really high grades in math, but their attitude towards math, as you can see from 4th grade, only 22% like math very much. 38% somewhat like math, and 41% do not like math at all. Okay, in 4th grade, but they're still, and in 8th grade, although they performed like the second and in TIMS, only 12% of them like math, 33% somewhat like math, 56% do not like math. So what is this telling us? Okay, what is this telling us? They don't like math, but they could achieve higher scores. But I think attitude comes first. The passion for math is more important than just mere grade achievements. So what we would like to do right now is to foster the love of the passion for learning, not just math and science, but in other subjects as well. So this is why in Taiwan currently we're implementing the 12-year curriculum, the new 12-year curriculum. It is a competency-based curriculum. As you can see, in the past, we all know about students' knowledge, perhaps skills, but their attitude is like underneath the water, and it's something that we have not been focusing on in the past. And like I showed you, they had low attitude in learning math, or low motives in learning math on their own, and so competency here refers to particular skills, knowledge, and attitude that one needs to respond to life situations in new information society. This is 2014 when they came up with the 12-year curriculum, planning for it. Yeah. And so right now we really need to stress all three: skills, knowledge, and attitude for educating our kids. The move from knowledge to competency turned attention from academic knowledge to intense intellectual development to the students and his or her well-rounded learning in real-life situations. And this is by NTNU Professor Chen and Huang, when they were writing about the 12-year curriculum. We're really going from knowledge, is test-driven knowledge, to competency, building students' competency, and we are stressing on providing them a learning context where it's rooted in real-life situations. The test questions on the paper, the assessments were not really like real-life contexts where students could transfer their knowledge or their learning to the real life situations. So this is something that we are really putting more focus right now. Okay, so this is the 12-year basic education, competency-based education. We stressed on spontaneity, interaction, and the common good. And as you can see, we really wanted to, the focus is being a life, fostering students to become lifelong learners. And there are three different areas of focus. We would really like students to have self-directed action, meaning they are willing to learn on their own. They're willing that students have a sound body and mind and self-improvement. They're willing to, have a growth mindset and learn. And also systematic thinking and problem solving, planning and implementing, and creative flexibility. That's self-directed action. For communicative interaction here, we really stress on the use of symbols and communicative expressions, especially now that you are in Taiwan helping out the kids. Most of the kids aren't fluent in English. They really need to use different ways to communicate with you. Also, we would like to train kids in technology and information media literacy, and also arts and aesthetic competency. Okay, for the last part, social participation here, we stressed on moral practice and civic consciousness, so that we engage them in what's going about in the society and their surrounding and their communities. Also interpersonal relations and teamwork. We like them to be able to work as a team starting from very young. And also, most importantly, multicultural and international understanding. And that's why Fulbright had, you are, as Fulbright scholars, you're invited in Taiwan. And we really like to foster international understanding or, and more communication. So this is all rooted in real life situations within the real life context. Okay. All right. So, and part of the reason why right now, not just Fulbright with 150 of you from the United States, but also the Ministry of Education has also hired like 300 foreign English teachers in Taiwan. And local governments such as New Taipei cities is also hiring a lot of foreign English teachers, and they're currently teaching in Taiwan, and they've been teaching here. I think back in since 2000, for a long time, right? And the reason why is that we really would like you to help with our English curriculum and also bilingual education. And so let me give you a brief, chronological background of our English curriculum here. So in Taiwan, we started the English curriculum in 1997 from 3rd grade. In 1998, there was an official start from 3rd grade, grade 2 sessions, grade 2 for 3rd grade for 2 sessions weekly. Each session is 40 minutes, okay? And imagine if you're learning Chinese for like 80 minutes per week, would you be able to converse in Chinese? I mean, if you were to learn Mandarin in the United States without the context, it's really difficult, right? So, so we thought, no, 3rd grade is too late. We should start from 1st grade. So in 2002, Taipei City, as the capital of Taiwan, started learning their English curriculum from 1st grade, and we're trying to see if Taipei students, starting young, would learn English better. All right, so in 2011, there were 3 sessions per week for middle and upper grades. Upper grade meaning 5th grade and 6th grade in elementary school, because we still think that, 2 sessions, 80 minutes is not enough. And as of 2016, Taiwan started bilingual education. meaning using English as as a medium of instruction to teach other subjects such as music, arts, PE, integrative studies, and science. Okay, so because we think that, well, um, 3 hours, 120 minutes per week of English is not enough for kids to be able to converse in the language, or to communicate in the language. And we really like to, especially in this pandemic, you could see that we really rely on the internet to communicate with, people from other countries. So English is, as a lingua franca, it's really important that, citizens of Taiwan um, are able to communicate in English. So, but if we look at the English curriculum in the past, this is an example I often, um, bring up. This, it's "What's wrong with you? I have a cold." So this is a sentence pattern that was in the textbook in the past, um, and it's brought out of context and practiced through repetition, with one of my student interns saying, "What's wrong with you?" With the to the monkey, and the monkey had to say, "I have a cold," or "I have a fever." And what is wrong with this is that, that there's a negative connotation with this question, "What's wrong with you?" Right? And so we're actually teaching kids to use the wrong question to act to be nice and to care about others when they were sick. Okay, so and this was they needed to pair practice with this "What's wrong with you?" The sentence pattern, which is wrong. And then later on, they found out it was wrong. And, instead of "What's wrong with you?" They had a second edition, improved the textbook, and change it to "What's wrong?" with the doctor offering advice that Peter has a fever and he can have some sandwiches, but he can't have cookies. This is what, how it was changed. Okay. So, but basically, English curriculum is still grammar-based communicative language teaching. And we would really want to not move away from this, but through bilingual education, we think that English language could be taught more in a more natural setting and more authentic communication. Okay, and this is something that may be informative to you, because as you are teaching, some of you may be helping out elementary school, teachers, and some of you may be helping middle school or high school. I'm not sure, but this is in the 12-year national curriculum. English. This is the English class hours. Okay, in terms of minutes per week. And this is a vocabulary that was in the curriculum standards. So for third and fourth grade students, they would only need to memorize like 300 English vocabulary when they were in, once they get to sixth grade. And the textbooks was written based on the first 1,020, 200, 1,200 frequency word band. When they were writing the textbook material for elementary school. So from grade 5 and grade 6, they need to be able to listen and speak and using 300 vocabulary, but they are only required to write and spell 180 vocabulary. So, like, as you can see, kids' vocabulary is very limited. So when you go into elementary school and teach, and help out the English teachers or the teachers there. You know, bear in mind that these kids really have very, very low and limited vocabulary. So you might need to provide lots of pictures or visuals or videos or, you know, real objects for them to be able to understand them. So for grade 7 and 9, 1,200, and grade 10 and 12, 600 vocabulary per textbook. But yeah, so for a native speaker, perhaps you would have like 50,000 vocabulary word knowledge, but you would like use like 20,000 daily, something like that. No, not daily, but you know, more frequently. Okay, so just to give you a general idea of, you know, comparing English as a foreign language learner to a native speaker. Okay, so, and also English starting from grade 1, only 6 major cities have their English curriculum starting from grade 1. Okay, so I don't know where you guys are. You know, can you tell me where you are, and if your English, if you know, are you guys right now at you know, at your school sites? No, not yet.
Not yet. They are still in their quarantine hotel.
Oh, you're still in your quarantine hotel. Okay.
But they know their school already.
Oh, they know you're okay. All right. I hope I'm not boring you in your hotel. Okay. So I would like, oh, Kingman, oh, right. I love Kingman. Ilan is close as well. I love Ilan as well. I love the cities that are, yeah. Penghu is pretty far from Taipei. Changhua County is nice. Hualien, I love the mountains and the sea in Hualien. I've lived in Hualien for 1 year, but the reason why I moved back to Taipei is because of the earthquake. I hope you won't encounter earthquakes, because at the time I was on 13th floor and I thought the building was gonna collapse. So yeah, but Taitung and oh my gosh, Green Island. Oh, I hope I have time to visit you in Green Island. I've never been there, actually. Marvelous. And Taipei, Sophia in Taipei. Sophia, I might have the chance to meet you since I'm in Taipei as well. Okay, so thank you for sharing where you are going to be, your schools are going to be, where you're going to be teaching. And so right now, Taiwan, we're implementing the bilingual education because of this blueprint for developing Taiwan into a bilingual nation by 2030. Believe it or not, it's not, you know, not making English as an official language, but we want to become bilingual, meaning each and every individual citizen need to be able to speak both languages. This is to enhance the nation's overall competitiveness, and it's a very big and bold goal but we're actually doing a lot of making a lot of effort in making this happen. And okay, so here are some of the information about bilingual education. MOE on the left right here. Can you see my cursor when I move? Yes, okay. MOE offers subsidies for 200 elementary and middle schools for bilingual programs, hiring FETs to foreign English teachers to co-teach English in 2021. That this is happening right now. 200 elementary and middle schools are implementing bilingual programs, and with the help of foreign English teachers. Okay, and New Taipei City, 70 schools offer bilingual courses, and they spent $10 million US in in 3 years. So they're really actually pouring a lot of money into this. Sorry, this is in Chinese, but it's not important. Okay, it's CLIL. They're using CLIL as a model for implementing bilingual experimental courses, and they also like to help out rural schools in the rural areas, and also they would like to have highlight some leading schools in the bilingual curriculum or program, school program. So in Taipei, bilingual schools offer a third of classes taught bilingually, meaning 1/3 of the class are taught in English. Okay, so right here, right now, I would like to know your area of expertise and the subjects what subjects do you teach, or your what's your area of expertise because I've talked with Dr. Nadeau, and he informed me that not for Fulbright scholars, not all of you are English teachers. You have a very diverse background, and that's what we like about you, because you bring in your different areas of expertise. I would like you to go to menti.com. Let me copy in. Okay. Oh, sorry. Could you participate on Menti so that we could have a word cloud and keep a copy, and so that I could show that Fulbright scholars have different areas of expertise on this Menti page. Okay. I posted the link on in the chat. If you go to www.menti.com and use the code 5202-3841, you may be able to participate, or just click on the link I provided in the chat. Are you able to, did I set this right for you to show image, show result type? Let's see. Yes, the link worked. Yes, it worked. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So we're waiting for your, and I can show you last year Fulbright Scholar Group slide. I still have the slide from last year. Oh, wow. Swahili. Writing biology, chemistry. Wow, really like your biology, chemistry background. Athletics, we would really need you to teach us how to teach PE. Elementary math. Ooh, I would like you to invite you over to our bilingual center to share your elementary math experience. Music, wonderful. Civics, linguistics, English. We have English is, a bigger right here. So bigger word right here. So in the center, we have science, physical education. Wow. International education, public speaking. Okay. Neuroscience. Wonderful. Data science, East Asian studies, psychology, economics, arts, PE, gym, organic chemistry. You know what? We really need your expertise, because in Taiwan, we're teaching PE in English, music in English, and arts in English. And these three areas, we really need your help in refining our lesson plans, because it would be nice if you could share your your knowledge of teaching, music, your music background, your physical education background, um, to Taiwanese local teachers. Yeah, wonderful in ESL. Okay. All right, so thank you all, and I'm gonna share with you the slide from last. Only 40 of you participated or commented on the Menti. Let me share with you last year. Last year I had 80 who participated. Oh, 184. See, this year we had lower participation rate. I hope this is not true. I hope you're still typing. I hope you're still typing. We have 42. Okay, I'll wait for you a little bit, or perhaps you could type it, or post your area of expertise during the break if you like. But yeah, this is from last year, and as you can see, we have 184 participants, all Fulbright scholars, and this was their area of expertise, and it is very amazing that you all come from diverse backgrounds, and this is why we really look forward to you for your coming to the local schools and help. Okay, we have 61. All right, so I'm gonna move on, but I do hope that you'll have time to fill in this information for me. Okay, so remember that right here, this is, when I see that you have music, PE, or all these different backgrounds, I look back at, our local schools. Right here joining me, we have 46 pre-service teachers, my students, and I asked this I did this survey in another group of pre-service teachers, and I asked them what would be the most difficult aspect of CLIL. When we talk about CLIL, content and language, integrated language, meaning we use this model to teach subject areas in English. And I asked them, what is the most difficult part? And this was their results. They thought that being available to do the lessons or to plan the lessons was most difficult. Also, bilingual assessment. They thought that to come up with a math test in English, or math or PE assessment in English, it's most difficult for them. They also worry about learner English proficiency, because our learners really have low English proficiency. And I know some of you have a background in chemistry and biology or neuroscience, and more towards science. For science course, it would be more difficult, and the concepts are more difficult. With the low English proficiency, we worry that they might not be able to learn as much compared to when they were learning science in Chinese. And so also these different areas, they, hard CLIL meaning really teaching the subject area with English, using English, and soft CLIL would mean that an English teacher incorporating some of the subject area concept, for example, math, into their English lesson, but the focus is more still, the language part. Whereas hard CLIL, the focus is the subject area knowledge and skills. So they thought that being able to teach science in English is harder, but using English class to incorporate some, math, music, science concepts in English, it is not as difficult. They're more comfortable with that. Okay, and this is for in-service elementary school teachers, and these might be the group of teachers you may be working with in the future. And like you can see here, they think that hard CLIL is the most difficult, and they also worry about that their learners' English proficiency. And I would like to ask you, what would be the most difficult aspect once, that you think that would be when you go into elementary school? What is your most worry? Can you type it in the chat? Out of these, or if it could also be open-ended question. Out of these 8 aspects, what would be the most difficult aspect? Fluency, learner English proficiency. Okay. Louise say bilingual assessment. Okay. Lillian Chin says hard CLIL as well. Kenneth says hard CLIL. K.H. Tyler says pedagogical knowledge. Madeline says pedagogical knowledge of CLIL. Okay. Jessica Kong says the assessment, figuring out if students need more help on the content and language, or the integration. Okay. Hard CLIL. Okay, interesting. And I am sure that once you get into local schools, they will also have professional development groups or community of practices where the local teachers and you may be able to go into these in more details and address your concerns and work together with the local teachers. Sorry, I don't know. Hello, I'm having a class right now. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, right. So yeah, a lot of you put down pedagogical knowledge of CLIL, pedagogical knowledge right here. And this is something that I came up with for implementing of bilingual education. What we really need is bilingual pedagogy, and teachers and students in language competency, and also bilingual content knowledge. And this is especially difficult. This area is especially difficult for local teachers because our local teachers all learn these math, science, arts, life studies, PE, and health and integrative studies in Chinese. They were brought up learning all these in Chinese, and now they really need the English subject specific knowledge and in order to teach the classes. And I think this area would be something that you may be able to help our local teachers, and that's why we love it that you are here right now. Okay, and in terms of English language proficiency, I think our local teachers are still working on the general and subject specific language and their classroom language. And because, we used to conduct classes in Chinese, and our classroom language is in Chinese. And right now we're switching to English. Some of the terms that, for managing classes or are, things that local teachers need to learn. For example, let me give, I don't have an example. The most common phrase would be eyes on me. Also, translanguaging is something that local teachers use, meaning once kids do not understand, they would switch back to Chinese or use pictures and visual clues to help understand. So translanguaging meaning incorporating different strategies in getting the meaning across. And local bilingual teachers are required to have a B2 level of B2 CEFR level, in order to teach bilingual lessons. But we're working on this as well. Okay. All right. So here's a survey that I conducted for pre-service teachers. As an English teacher, which subjects are you most comfortable in teaching in English? So the English teachers are most, because when I ask English teachers, this is because English teacher, because they are most likely to get to B2 level. So they are being asked by local schools to implement bilingual lessons. And so they thought that life curriculum and integrative studies are easier to be taught. But whereas arts, PE, science, and math, they would think are, harder, more difficult, and they're less comfortable with teaching. So here's, as a teacher, I have 45 teachers who filled out this survey. As a teacher, which subject are you most comfortable in teaching in English? So it's similar. This is similar with this is, let's see, this is the group of, let me move this array, in-service, homeroom, and English teachers, okay? And they think integrative studies and life curriculum are the easiest, most comfortable with, and arts, PE, music in between. Music, science, and math, they thought they're least comfortable in teaching in English, okay? What about you? If you were to be asked to help out in any of these bilingual areas, which subject area are you most comfortable in teaching? Can you type it in the chat, please? And I also like my group of students to respond in the chat, please. Okay. Wow, I see a lot of math. I need to keep this record. And or let me see if I have science. If you're interested in teaching science, I would like to contact you and invite you to our Center for Research on Bilingual Education and help us develop science lessons, or remotely we could, or in person, right? If I'm allowed to, by Fulbright. Okay, so a lot of you said PE. Aubrey Dyson, wow, math and science. Maybe you're the person I need to talk to. Okay, life curriculum, arts and life curriculum, maybe. Okay, a lot of people, Allison says PE. So far, oh, we don't have any, oh, we do have music here, music. Okay, not many of you are interested in teaching music. Only some of you. Allison, you? Okay, let's see. Music? Okay, Elaine is my student. Music, you like to teach music, okay. All right, thank you. Okay, I can teach music too. Wow, Kat, nice. Lana, right, great, love music. Okay, so how are we doing on time? 6 minutes till break, or? Yes, okay. All right, thank you. So here is the school-based curriculum. We have like in the national curriculum, we have a where some of the subjects are like set, we have room for school-based curriculum, meaning schools can develop their own curriculum. So this was a curriculum that I helped, Lujiang Elementary School in New Taipei City for their second grade, what's this called? Second grade curriculum, school-based curriculum. And what we did was we incorporated, they need to be able to learn, the school would like them to foster their English reading, and at the same time, their life skills. And so this was like a combination of both. So we incorporated some of the picture books, Grow Up, David, My Friend is Sad. I think this is a Mo Willems book. Why Should I Eat Well? And all the different types of issues. There are 19 different issues that the MOE would like teachers to incorporate in their lessons. We have family, moral education, life education, international education, the environment, the energy, the outdoor education, and all that. So this is something you might be asked to help develop their school curriculum, and with your diverse area of expertise, I think the schools would be happy for your input in their curriculum. Okay, so this is in Taiwan, we are really adopting CLIL as our curriculum design model, and CLIL stands for Content and Language Integrated Learning, and this is putting CLIL into practice is a book written by Ball, Kelly, and Clegg, but also if you know CLIL, then you know Do Coyle and David Marsh are two key persons who promoted CLIL during the past 20 years. And this is the CLIL wheel that I adopt, and I find it useful and handy when I develop bilingual lessons. As you know, that Do Coyle proposed a 4 C's model. The 4 C's are content, cognition, communication, and culture. So culture meaning that we would like this to raise international cultural awareness. And also when we design lessons, it needs to be built upon real life situations. That's culture, comparing our local cultures to international cultures as well. And so it needs to be within this cultural context. And we look at content-wise, we stress on concepts over language, meaning science concepts is more important than, just memorizing the language terms, science language terms. So concept over language, task over language, meaning it needs to be task-based, engage learners in hands-on tasks. Sequencing is important because the learning sequence from simple to more complex tasks or concepts. And this is how we help, remember some of you are concerned about English language proficiency. This is a strategy we adopt widely to use guided multimedia input for the learners to help with comprehension. And the 3 dimensions is language, content, language, and process. That I'm not going to go into details here. For communications, we have key language, which is subject-specific language, the language pertaining to each subject. For example, math terms, and or science terms. Key language, for example, precipitation would be a difficult word. Okay, key language. Instructional language, interaction, we stressed on student-student communication, but students aren't there ready yet. So we would like you to provide supported output, meaning giving them more scaffolds and help in helping them communicate with each other. Okay. Also, what we like about CLIL is the cognition part. And I would like to go into more details on that. So on this slide, my third point is using language to learn. When we're using English to learn math or science or music or life skills or PE, we are engaging them in a higher cognition than, say, learning what is the day today in English class, or what subject do you like in English class? Okay, so that's why we liked about implementing CLIL is that students get to use English to learn different subject areas, engaging them in higher cognitive activities. For example, getting to know more about themselves, their characteristics, and we have teachers using Johari window in helping kids analyze. This is open self, meaning I think that I am energetic. My friend also thinks that I am energetic. That's open self. We have blind self, meaning my friends think that I am brave, but I don't think that I'm brave. That would be blind self. So classes like that engage them in higher cognition than I would say in English class, whereas it's more like repetition. Okay. Also, the immediacy effect, learn now, use now. When we teach, PE in English, then we're learning the English terms and using it now. Whereas in an English class, when kids are learning, this is a pen, that is a pencil, they've already know these terms in Chinese, and they don't have the context where they could use what they learn in English. They can only use this language, English, to communicate later. So CLIL is learn now, use now. Okay. And also, because of the relevancy, for CLIL, we're actually bridging connections to students' lives. Engaging them in. Am I going over time? It's 10:33. Yes. Okay, Kevi. So, yeah. So that was relevancy. I think CLIL lessons we are able to relate and connect to students' lives. All right, so I'll stop right here and let's now take a 10-minute break, grab something to drink and take a break, and we'll come back at around 10:44, right? Okay, thank you. I didn't realize we have 212 participants. This is by far the largest group I've achieved as a speaker. Yay! Thanks, Max. All right. How exciting. Let me share. Okay. Before I begin, I like to share this Padlet post, and I will come back to this before our session ends. And Anthony from Fulbright asked a couple really nice, good questions here. Is the culture of testing changing with the new generation of teachers in Taiwan? Are schools teaching culture of Anglophone countries in addition to English languages, and how? And these are some of this would be a most one of the difficult questions. And I think question 6, what do English teachers study in university in Taiwan, and how are teachers prepared? What kind of courses do they take? I think question number 6 can be answered by my students. So I would like my student, my class to help answer this question in the comments here. So I would, this is a place where you could share your stories and ask each other and questions and yeah, share thoughts. And so I would like to come back to this. Asha from Fulbright also put here, this talk made me think critically about high achievement and high passion attitude towards subject matters affects sustained achievement. And yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does affect sustained achievement, and you're right. And I similarly wanted to know more about civic education. What does this begin, and what is generally taught? My students can also help answer this question, but I also did a Google search on civic education. There's a paper posted in written in the year 2000 about Taiwan civic education in junior high schools. You might have a look. You might want to have a look anyways. And so Elizabeth from Fulbright is also interested in civic engagement. How is it taught, and what are the common lessons? So we'll come back to these questions. For civic engagement, I might not have a concrete answer to that. As you know, I am more into English education and bilingual education. But I hope my students could give you some ideas, or we could look it up in the Google it, and we'll look into it and provide answers. Okay. So we'll come back to the Padlet board later. Okay, and anonymous answer from question 4. Tony, thank you, Tony, for answering the questions. Yeah. I hope you keep them coming, and for my students from NTUE, yeah, please post you could share your personal stories or answer some of these questions, or post your comments based on what I've shared, or anything related to today's topic, so that our Fulbright scholars would get to know more about you as a pre-service English teacher, training to become elementary school English teachers or bilingual teachers. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go back to my slide here. So in the following, I'm going to talk about bilingual education and show you a lot of pictures about it. Okay, these are classes that I've observed in, and for a start, this is Taipei Wenchang Elementary School science games class. taught by Ms. Chen and Yi Chong Huang. Yi Chong Huang is an English teacher, but he's collaborating with our science teacher here, Ms. Chen, and developing science lessons. And this lesson is sound and vibration. So kids had a cup, and with this, I don't know what this is called, the wriggly thing, and then they had to blow it and blow into a hole, or no, not blow, but sort of yell or using low voice and higher pitch voice, and see how it vibrates, And this is balancing butterflies. Okay. They made a butterfly and see the tipping point where they could balance the butterfly. Okay. So we see something similar, something like this in the Science Center that we could purchase, and they've made it by themselves. And they talked about like gravity and balancing. Here's because I taught a group of bilingual teachers and supervised their internship last year, and these were the lessons my students developed. This was a unit on seeds, and they talked about how seeds disperse. Now, you may think that this is this is a topic you're familiar with, and you might think that this is easy, but these students, this was for these third graders, this was their very first time learning seeds in English. Okay, so for them, they're brand new. For our students, it's brand new. To us, our students as well, they have never had to teach seeds in English. They're very used to talking about seeds in Chinese. Okay, so they need to come up with. They came up with ways of, helping kids experience it. And for example, animal dispersal. Students explore how beggar ticks dispersed by animals, and they actually, spread, use beggar ticks in helping students realize that it would be caught on a cloth and it wouldn't, fall or drop. And water disposal. How do coconut seeds travel by water? They actually brought in actual coconut and observed that it was floating in the water. Wind dispersal. Seeds from plants like dandelion and are light and have feathery bristles that can carry long distances by wind. And like when you are reading this, it might be easy for you, but for younger kids, remember they only have 300 vocabulary by the end of 6th grade, and you're asking our kids. I mean, we are now asking our kids to remember or understand words such as featherly or bristles or long distance or carried, and these all are very difficult words for them. Okay, they might know something like or wind or plants or seeds perhaps, but the rest are difficult. Okay, and this was a scientific, we like in our science lesson, we have some of the teachers, like English teachers, when they teach science lessons, they become English lessons. And so what we were trying to do here is we would like to incorporate science pedagogy in our science lessons and to implement scientific inquiry in a science lesson. So fruit seeds, what they did was they cut fruits into half and observed the seeds. How many, and carpels, how many carpels are in different kinds of fruit, how many seeds are in different kinds of food. And through observation, they first predict and they observe and then they report. And then, so you can see the pictures on the board that these were all drawings by these 3rd graders, and they were lovely. Okay. Also water buoyancy, and buoyancy is a big word, okay. Use clay to build a boat. Our approach is for kids to have more hands-on experiences as opposed to just reading the text and explaining it verbally. So we designed lessons for them to build a boat, and we would count and observe what kind of boat design holds more coins. And this here, my student here is counting how many coins this boat holds. Okay, I think it was they had one group were able to hold like, I remember it was it 12 or 15? I forgot. This is my student Joe, and he's a master's level student, bilingual master's level student, but enrolled in a bilingual education program, and he is now interning at Taipei, one of the Taipei bilingual elementary schools, and his unit was on water. The three what's it called? On the water cycle. Okay, yes, the water cycle. And so he had to cover condensation, precipitation, and all that. Okay, so going from solid, from liquid, explaining liquid, solid, and gas. Okay, so let me share with you this lesson. We have a video here. Okay.
Think coconut will sink. Okay, half. Okay, put it down. Put your hand
Can
down.
you hear?
What do you think about cheese nut? Easy. Float or sink? Raise your hand if you think it will float. Okay, hands down. Put your hands up if you think it will sink. Okay, let me. Doesn't matter. Okay, let's put eyes on the shelf. What do you think? The one with water. The one with water will float or sink? Raise your hand if you think it will float. Okay, put your hand down. Sink. Okay, put your hand down. Okay, the iron one, the iron bowl. Shake it. Sink or float? Raise your hand if you think it will sink. Sink. Okay, hands down. Raise your hand if you think it will float. 1, 2, 3, 3. Okay. Put your hand down. Okay, raise the cotton one. It's full of cotton in water. Okay. Raise your hand if you think it will float. Okay, hands down. Raise your hand if you think it will sink. Okay. Okay, hands down. So let's put the coconut and the cheese nut into your hand. Now, put it
So they were so excited, but after the teacher's instruction, they were all conversing in Chinese. 浮起来啦 is float. It's floating. And we have teachers, a science professor and an English TESOL professor, and 2 other teachers observing in the class and giving my student feedback after class. Okay, so that was one of the examples of my bilingual student interning at Wenchang Elementary School, teaching about water dispersal and observing how seeds sink or float. And as you can see,
Put it down.
as you can see, he was using very simple language. Can it sink? Would it sink or float? So, you know, eliciting students one word response: sink or float. So, so that it's simple enough for kids to be able to answer it. Okay, so that's our strategy. Our strategy is to simplify the language, and perhaps asking this, you know, this concept repeatedly so that the kids would think and predict whether and observe whether or not this type of seed would sink or float in the water. Okay. Okay, we also have, this is buoyancy. We go from, for science class, we go from doing buoyancy experiments, just purely experimenting and playing with building a boat, to more scientific inquiry class, involving predicting, observing, and explaining. Okay. And the language used in a science class, well, for the language part, it involves instructional language, subject-specific language, subject area language, interaction, and supported output. I think it was this part of the little circle that I mentioned earlier. And let me give you an example of a foreign English teacher in Taiwan teaching science class, dissolution. And this is the procedure that he gave the students. Step A: place sugar candy in a beaker. You can see that his instruction was short, and paired with visuals, and he and his team actually created these sugar bricks and on their own, and hiding like a small toy inside, so that when the students get the sugar bricks and they dissolve in water, in different water of different temperatures, it, you know, once once it's dissolved, they could see the toy inside, and they were all very excited. And so, and add 600 milliliter of hot water. And the third one is stir. You can see that his experimental procedures listed here are very simple ones. Thank you. Megan saying that this is so cute. All right, so, and they also need to record their data. And he told them to get the toy out, dissolve all the sugar candy. When you get the toy out, write down the time. And this is what you see here on the board. Kids wrote down the time. Write down the time when the sugar candy is dissolved. So he was repeating the sentence like twice or 3 times so that they know what to do. Okay. And these are the science, these are the instructional languages that I jot down from that class. And you can see, although the concept of dissolution might be difficult, but the instructional language is used, you know, we use very simple instructional language to help kids understand. Things like, what is this? What are these? This was part of the English curriculum, but we also ask kids the same questions. What is this? What are these? But for the purpose of doing, for the purpose of getting familiar with the experimental materials. What is this? What are these? We use beaker, you know, this is, you know, sugar candy. So, you know, simple language, but, you know, used in more natural setting. Do you know what this is? And so asking kids to, you know, answer beaker. How do you dissolve sugar candy? Put it in water. What do I do? So, you know, the teacher asked himself, what do I do? Okay. How do I take it out of the bag? How do I take the sugar candy out of the bag without, you know, using hands? Can you do that for me? How do we dissolve the sugar candy faster? What else? Okay, we also have open the bag, put it in, put your hand underneath, write your group number in the corner, don't touch it, get the toy out, dissolve all the sugar candy, show me where is 600 millimeter, hold the teapot, and more otter, add more otter, add heat. Okay, excellent, very good and right. These are the three like praising phrases that the teacher used. So, but basically, as a language professor, I go into and observe the bilingual lessons, and I record, you know, the interaction and language that's going on, transcribed it verbatim, and you know, so that I would be able to share with you here and teach our local teachers the language, classroom language, the subject area language that is involved in a science classroom. So this was the dissolution experience. What is this? It's a teapot. What are these? These are chopsticks. Okay. Okay. With a meaningful purpose. And this is the observe how students conduct experiment. Okay. We have.
Yes. Group 5. Yes. Group 6. Yes. Right, 4. Stop the clock. Slowly.
Each group has different temperature of water, and they're now pouring it in. And look at the sugar brick with the small boy in it. It's in the shape of a Christmas tree.
You take out the toy.
And one student said, 你要 take out the toy. Stir.
太搅拌了。
Dissolve. Right. Yes.
我们需要擦。停！所有人先拿起来，一人搅，先一个人搅。他先，你先开始。你没有搅到那个，这要搅很久。好，换那罐，换那罐。好，我可能要再换到最后。
I don't think I got the part where they took out the candy. Let me check. Toy. Okay, no, I didn't. Okay. So basically you can see that the students are using the language that the teacher was using, right? One of the kids say, 你要 take out the toy. 你要 is you need to, or you want to. No, you need to. 你要 take out the toy. So he was mixing both languages in one sentences. And then I also hear one of the students say, stir. Okay. So for this experiment, actually, because, you know, the temperature of the water is different, they also need to have control over how many times the students stir, and that was not controlled. So that was one of the things that we were talking about after the lesson. Okay, so kids had a lot of fun because of this lesson, and I learned I get to observe how this foreign English teacher, his name is Lawrence, how he taught the lesson. The question he asked, how do we dissolve the sugar candy faster? This was the core question, what we call, the definition for dissolution is when you put something into water to help it dissolve. And the questioning part would be, what must I do? What must I put it? Where must I put it? What do I do? How do I take it out of the bag? Who is going to pour the water? Okay. And yeah, through this lesson, we were able to see how to use simple language and engaging learners to conduct science experiments. This is another program that I really, really highly recommended, and I've written articles on it, sharing their design. This was a Makers ABC program implemented by Xingling Elementary School in New Taipei City, and their team, Gregory Conrad, Marie Huang is the local English teacher, and Mingjie Lin is a local English teacher. The three of them developed this Makers ABC bilingual program for the kids. And they've even designed their own characters. These are the characters that would, would come out and tell their stories and create this settings for them, and to give them a purpose, sort of a storyline before each science explorations, or And what they did was, they have indicated how they co-teach. This was their co-teaching model. In English, foreign English teacher and local English teacher, they have one teach, one support model. Team teaching, where two teachers are both in the front of the class, and parallel teaching, both teaching at the same time. So what they did was, for their lesson, for their Maker's Diary, they have 4 components. And these are the 4 components. They have the drama, which is the storyline and setting the context. They have theory or Maker Diary, either go through the science concepts in the theory part, and the Maker's Diary in documenting in asking kids to write down vocabulary and draw it and have it down in Chinese as well. Build, where kids conduct, hands-on building of the STEM project, and a review, engaging them in the reading part that was relevant to the lesson. Okay, so as you can see, the drama, theory, and review part would be one teach, one support. Greg would be the one who's teaching, and Mingjie or Marie would be the one to support. For drama, when they're acting out the storyline of the main characters, and theory part, they would do team teaching. And for the building part, there would be conducting parallel teaching, helping out individual kids. Okay, so this is something that you might consider, these models, when you collaborate with your local teachers in Taiwan. And for my students, when you collaborate with foreign English teachers in the future. Okay, so these are some of the projects they've done. This one is a sundial. This is series and parallel circuit. This is build a boat. They actually built this boat and using this to for the motors to run and for the boat to go. Okay, and also for integrative studies, this is the Formosan Animal Warriors, one of the local teachers teaching 5th grade class, and conducting saving endangered animals. Each of the cubs or different types of endangered animals, they need to hop over the hippo effect, and save it back to their natural habitat. And they engage in authentic reading in the learning, using National Geographic, text, and going over our sky lantern culture, conducting this culture versus nature type of issue. Do we reserve our culture and release sky lanterns, or do we protect our nature from being polluted by the Sky Lantern trash. Okay, so this was students writing Chinese, 天灯, this is the Sky Lantern, and their English. Okay. All right, because I'm running out of time, I'm going to leave a couple minutes to for Q&A and going back to the to our Padlet. Let's take a look, okay, at our Padlet, and if you have any questions. Okay, Charlie from Fulbright, how do English language? Okay. How do English language goals differ for students in indigenous schools? I'm curious because the students may also be learning an indigenous language in addition to English and Mandarin. Yeah, I think the English language goals are the same, but they really stress on the indigenous language. They would have a full day of indigenous class for the school that we're visiting. My students are visiting this December. We're taking them to teach a school of students in the mountains. They have a full day of indigenous language learning class. So, yeah. Right. As of now, I was doing most of the talking. Can I ask people who posted on this Padlet to grab the mic and ask your questions so that we could interact and and talk so that I can hear your voice.
I can ask my question.
Yeah, go ahead. Can you introduce yourself first?
I'm Janai.
Hi, Janai.
Nice to meet you. My question was, how do students learn about the diversity in America and in the world? Do they learn that there are all types of people who live? My bad. Do they learn that there are all types of people who live in America and that their individuality and character is not synonymous with the stereotypes that exist about them? I'm curious to know because from my experience as a Black person in Taiwan during my study abroad for a year and a half, people tended to associate Black people with basketball, rap, and interesting hair, along with some exaggerated and potentially harmful stereotypes such as aggressive and violent. I'm hoping that the future teachers of Taiwan can incorporate some lessons about cultural diversity, as well as teach the children that Black Americans, along with other races in America, are not a monolithic group. I believe doing so will allow students to develop more healthy ideas and opinions about people of different races and cultural backgrounds.
Wonderful, Janai. Thank you so much. And that's why you're here, right? And I believe that with you being here, we would have more awareness in cultural diversity and what you just mentioned. And I think Taiwanese kids really do need a lot more education on that as well. So right now, currently, I think the only kids only learn about this through some of the schools through international collaboration with schools outside of Taiwan, through iEarn. I don't know if you know iEarn, or through their local English teachers. So we really, yeah, with you and the rest of you, everyone here being here, I really do like to thank Janai for raising this this topic, and for my students as well. And now we know that yeah, we really need to put more effort on this topic. Thank you, Janai.
No problem.
Anyone else like to share or comment? Love iron, Tyler. Okay, thank you, Jessica. Who else would like to grab the mic? Let's see, Anthony. Thank you for posting these questions. Could you pick one and so that we could discuss here?
Hello, yes. The students actually answered most of my questions already.
Oh,
Um, but
great.
one of the ones that I'm still curious about is what kind of English is being taught in the schools. Like, are students learning American English
Yes.
or are they studying British English?
They are learning American English in Taiwan. Students are, learning American English. But for some schools who are adopting foreign textbooks for our for NTU, National Taipei University of Education affiliated elementary school, currently they're not using Taiwanese English textbooks, but they're using Oxford, and that Oxford version is British version, and it was sort of a way to raise awareness of Englishes, not just American English, but we were discussing about this, but here in Taiwan, we learn American English. Thank you. What else? Anyone else? Let's see. What about Allison from Fulbright?
Hi, I think my question was already answered by one of your students.
Uh-huh. Can you repeat that question so that we could hear it?
Yeah, I was wondering how English is continuing to be taught after students graduate from high schools and enter universities, and really learning more about what programs are done at the university level to improve English proficiency. Like, are there any clubs outside of, typically learning English in the classroom? Are there any programs that you have at universities?
Mm-hmm. That was a really good question. And right now, because we're pushing for a bilingual nation, the Ministry of Education is, again, giving us a lot of money to enhance English, our college students' English language proficiency. And I've just received a grant, 3 million Taiwanese dollars in implementing and enhancing our college students' English proficiency, as well as encouraging professors to teach their courses in English as a medium for instruction. And so we really are putting a lot of effort into enhancing our college students' English proficiency, and through courses and hopefully through international collaboration or projects. Yeah. So Allison, thank you for your question. All right. So, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Are we good on time? We're set for 11:20 to end the session, right, Kevi? All right, so we're good on time, 1 minute past. So thank you all very much for your participation. Can we grab a group photo? Am I allowed to grab a group photo to commemorate this moment? Okay, all right. I don't know how to include all 207 of you. No? All right, so let me print screen. 1, 2, let me look good. Thank you. One more. Someone is touching their, grabbing their 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, I can be reached at ychien@gmail.com if you have any questions. And also I have a YouTube channel, and I post mostly my talk on YouTube. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Professor Jen.
Thank you, Kevi.
Okay, so this is the end of the session. So it's time for lunch again. So we will see you guys in the afternoon.
Okay, for my students, please get back to Google Meet. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.